opinions you're about to hear on this show are strictly those of the panel.
The following program is rated TV MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Violence. Get ready.
Violence!
I awoke and chose violence.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome to the shit show, Friday night shit show.
Wait. We gotta do it properly.
Hat Uncensored.
We gotta do it properly.
I
We gotta do it
did.
this way.
Hello. Welcome to the Friday night shit show.
Every single day, a new flavor of fuckery, 'cause everybody sucks, you see, and they're dumber than a bag of rocks.
Everyone sucks. Yeah. Yeah, except for the girl you're dating, right, guys?
Ooh, that's what she said.
No, she does suck. Never mind. Oh, never mind. Oh, never mind.
Oh,
Well, wanted to say thank you to Orange Hat and Ruben for joining me tonight. I did send a couple of invites out, so I'm waiting to see if they're going to show up. So if they do, that's great. If they don't, it's like, oh well, it's Friday night. Maybe they got a date or something big going on. But yeah, man, there's been a lot of shit happening this week.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
it's like,
fucking
wow. I mean,
celebrities
it's like it's like nothing can prepare you for the next thing that's about to happen. You know what I mean? It's like you think, oh yeah, there's nothing that's shocking anymore. I know it all, but then you go, what the hell's going on? But let me see. I want to pick out this one. I think this is it. Yeah, I think hopefully I clicked on the right one. Let's see. Oh yeah, this is the one. I want to show this because this is one of Trump's new picks for the undersecretary, I guess, of the Navy.
This is the scariest sound you will hear when you live in a communist country. This is the last sound my parents heard when their fathers were taken away in the middle of the night, and they never saw their loved ones again. That's the sound of losing your freedom, the sound of always living in fear. That's my family's real life story. We escaped from Vietnam just days before Saigon fell to the communists. We were given a new life in the most generous country on earth. America saved my life. I graduated from the United States Naval Academy. I earned a master's in physics and fellowships at MIT and Harvard before the left replaced merit with racial quotas. I spent my life trying to repay my debt to America, my country, our country, with 25 years of service in Navy Special Operations, combat in Iraq, Afghanistan, and Somalia. But now our country has taken a dark turn. That's Joe Biden's Justice Department sending 24 armed agents to arrest a pro-life activist in front of his family. That's Joe Biden's IRS raiding a gun shop and seizing thousands of records from law-abiding gun owners, our names, our addresses, our social security numbers. That's Joe Biden arresting his challenger in the next election, a former president of the United States. And now a different sound. That's the sound of someone breaking into your home or business. The sound of crime destroying our cities and communities. That's how it all starts. They let criminals back on our streets. Millions of illegal immigrants pour across our border each year, including military-aged men from all over the world. And enough fentanyl to kill every man, woman, and child in this country. And the Biden family? Well, that's how it works in a dictatorship. The rules don't apply to the rulers. We are losing our country. You know it, but you also know you can't say it. We're forced to say that wrong is right. We're forced to lie. We can't let that happen. I've been all over the world. Believe me when I tell you, if America fails, there's nowhere else to go. I'm Hung Cao, retired Navy captain running for the United States Senate. I still believe America can be the land of opportunity. I have an obligation to fight back against those who want to control our lives and disrupt our families. We need real fighters, not politicians, not bureaucrats, not keyboard warriors acting tough in a custom-made suit. No, not here in America. We must refuse to be intimidated. We must be fearless. I'm Hung Kao. I'm running for Senate, and I approve this message because I'm not done fighting for us.
Well, he was running for office, and he was beat by that Kane guy. Can't remember.
Mhm.
He didn't win, but guess what? Trump picked him as our Undersecretary of the United States Navy.
Mhm.
So
Nice.
I wanted everybody to see that because I thought it was a really impressive video. And I won't say anything else about the evacuation of Saigon, but I have someone in my family that was way high up in that whole thing. And he has a lot of people that escaped North Korea that just really look up to him because he saved a lot of people. And he was a helicopter pilot, one of the helicopter pilots. So that's why I think this is awesome. You know, this is a really good deal. And I'm so proud that Trump is picking such wonderful people that love this country and understand what this country is supposed to be. You know what I mean? And what it's supposed to offer. And I'm hoping that more people will open their eyes and realize the opportunities that our country is supposed to have if you just work a little harder to try to get it and believe in something instead of sitting around expecting others to give you something. Why not go out there and earn something? You know, that attitude. So
That's right.
I'm hoping that we will get more of that as the years go by under Trump. And people see some, because I got a couple things before we start on all the different things we're going to talk about tonight, but I got a couple of little videos that I found to me that represent the new way of looking at things. This next thing I have is an interview of Elon, and it's a snippet of an interview about him being on Joe Rogan. And Joe Rogan had asked him about, his people trying to kill him now because he's what he's doing. And this is one of the comments he made. I thought you guys, I don't know if you'd heard it or not, but I thought everybody needed to hear it. But it's pretty good. It's only like 25 seconds, but it's pretty good. Listen.
I mean, I do think like one argument for me staying alive is that it's more entertaining if I'm alive than if I'm dead.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
definitely.
I just hope I could be alive and like injured, which suck. You know,
Right.
if, like the wing just like shoot my arm off or something.
Right. No, we don't want that.
Yeah, exactly.
No. Keep the security strong.
Yeah, clapping with one hand.
He'd be happy with one
What
hand.
the fuck? What the hell?
What
Imagine no. But here's what's so fucking weird.
What?
Well, he just said it. What is this? God forbid someone shoots his arm off. He gets a robotic Tesla arm. He becomes Iron Man. Imagine fucking
Well,
Elon
it's not
Musk.
that. It was the fact that he said he just needs one hand. And I thought he was trying to make a sexual, jab to make fun of it.
Oh.
So I thought that was funny. And I just thought it just.
How many kids does he
gives you
have? Like 14?
13.
Kidding.
But the thing is it gives you a little inside look at how lighthearted he can take all of this that's going on. I mean, because going from a guy that's just building a humongous businesses, and he's one of the richest men in the world, right? And he's a nerd, he thinks about going to Mars, but he loves the ladies, as we can tell, because he's got a lot of kids. But he's funny. He's funny, and he enjoys his life. He's enjoying his life, and he's very intellectual. He's got all that stuff, but and he's not taking any money for doing what he's doing to try and his people are finding all this corruption and stuff. And he's got a website up Doge website so people can go there and look at all the shit that they've found they're putting out on there. And I just thought that was a video I thought you guys need to see, and how lighthearted he's taken the fact that people want him dead. Just not many people can do that. Not many people can look at their life that way. And this is another video. Is this the one? Let me see, make sure I got the right one. Yeah. Okay. This is the next one I was going to play. Okay. This is, I think this is the right one. Hold on. Let me make sure. I don't want to do it. Yeah. Okay. This is the, a part of the interview with Zelensky with Trump in the White House. Okay. This is the president of the United States in the White House with the vice president sitting at his side, and this little dweeb, and how he speaks to the president of the United States. So the way it turned out at the end of the day, I think the president handled it really well. And then I have a couple videos, different points of view of what happened, and I want to play those. But let me get this big and play this. So listen.
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you are
Mr.
not
President,
strong,
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come to the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the president for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Come once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military?
We have problems.
And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems, even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't
God
know
bless.
that.
You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in no
answering on
position
this
to
question.
dictate that.
That's
Remember
exactly
this.
what
I'm not
You're in
dictating.
no position to dictate what we're going to feel.
You
We're
will-
going to feel very
you will
good.
feel influence.
We're going to feel very
I'm
good and
telling
very
you,
strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed
From the
yourself
very-
to be in a
from
very
the very
bad position,
beginning
and
of
he
the
happens
war.
to be right about
From
it.
the very beginning of the war.
You're not
Mr.
in a
Brown,
good position.
I
You don't
was
have
in-
the cards right now. With us, you start
I'm
having
not playing
cards. But
cards.
right now, you
I'm
don't. Yeah,
very
you're playing
serious,
cards.
Mr. President.
You're
I'm
playing
very
cards.
serious.
You're
I'm
gambling
the
with the
president
lives
in
of
war.
millions of people.
You think-
You're gambling with World War
What do you-
III.
what do you
You're
think about?
gambling with
What do you
World
think
War
about?
III. And
You-
what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country.
I'm
That's
with
back
all
to you.
respect to your
Far
country.
more than a lot of people said
I'm wearing
they
respect.
should have.
Have you said thank you once?
A lot of times.
No, in this
Even
entire meeting,
today.
have you said thank
Even
you.
today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for
What-
the United
what
States
are
of
you
America
speaking about?
and the president who's trying to save your country.
Did you hear what he said? Did you ask or say that? Did you say thank you once? But did you see how he just never shut up? He never shut up. He never stopped talking. He constantly interrupted the president and the vice president. So let me, I'm going to drop this one and then I'm going to go to the next one. Welcome, Bruce. We were hoping
Bruce!
you to see us. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. That was our second little video. The first one I played was just this. I think I sent you the video. It was the what's his name? Hung.
The new Department of
Hung
Navy.
Kao.
Oh, okay, yeah. And he is our Secretary of the Navy now, Undersecretary. So
Yeah.
I played his video, and it was really, really impressive that he played when he was running for office. So I played that first because I thought it was very impressive of what job our president is doing on picking people to help him run the country for the next 4 years. Then I played a video of Elon Musk on Joe Rogan's show talking about hopefully he won't die. He says that he thinks that no one will kill him because it's funnier, or it's better to have him alive. It's more interesting or whatever. So I just wanted people to see that, because I think that I wanted people to understand that the things that he's going through, and people want to kill him over it, so I just think that it's the whole thing is just really, really pathetic where we
We're in
are.
the Missouri world now.
Yeah, and I remember I kept saying that even if Trump wins, and that they're not going to stop. They're going to, for 4 years, we're going to have to put up with more. We hate Trump. Trump's a fascist.
That's great.
Trump's
You hate Trump.
Nazi.
Like, you're defending enablers and rapists. That's awesome. You're a fucking real American zero. Thank you so fucking much.
Well, before I do anything with going on, I'm going to go ahead and recognize some of the people in the chat. It says Old Mountain of Chestnut. Say welcome for joining us. Yeah, politicians are crooks. Yes, for sure. And then I'm going to say Baby Girl's in here.
Baby girl.
Six Nations. Jackie Blue stopped in and said good luck, like she always does. And then we got Grumpy Old Ninja Kadaro. Thank you for being in here. Thank you for joining us tonight. Let's see who else is in here. Sorry, I'm going through all these names. A Common Mansplaining. Hey, thank you very much for stopping in. Appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Let's see. How do you pronounce this name? Can you guys pronounce it?
Vanya Koshchuk. He's one of mine.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. I didn't want to say his name wrong. So Vanya Koshchik. Is that close
Koshchuk.
enough?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Well,
close
thank
enough.
you for joining us tonight. Thank you for supporting your friend Orange Chat. I appreciate you stopping in. Let's see who else is in here. Okay, that's it. I can see different names right now as of right this minute. Okay, so now I'm gonna get down to let's see, get back to where I was at for my next presentation. Let's see which one I was gonna. I think it's, Andrea. Where is that one?
I'm only having one cup of wine tonight, okay?
Oh, okay. It's a big one.
At the bottom.
I'm just
Okay.
I'm beside myself. Like, this is the first time anybody's ever told Zelensky get fucked. Like,
No.
I can't believe this. Like, this guy, all he does, he just runs around in a tracksuit, pretending to be a prostitute that never puts out, never delivers, never does anything. Money, 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 please, money, please. He's like that twat off of fucking what is that show? Parks and Rec. Or he's like the fucking real life or adult version fucking DSP, Dark Side Phil. That's all he does. That's all he does. I gotta pay my bills. You gotta help me.
No, but you're gonna love this. Did you guys see this video? You see this woman? She's a Ukrainian ambassador. Okay, this is her reaction watching her
Yeah, I saw
president.
this. I
Yeah,
saw
watch
this.
this.
Because you get a ceasefire faster than
She's humiliated, and she should be. That's really, really, really sad to be in that position, to be sitting there knowing that you're the ambassador to that country in our country, and that's what they're doing. That's what he's doing to his country. He's embarrassing them because of the way he's reacting to what's going on. But
I'm happy.
yeah,
This was a good day. This was a really good day.
okay, well, this was another one. I wanted to play a couple of these things that I found that were funny, making fun of what happened today. So here's another one. I don't know if you guys saw this one. This is what went down in the White House between Trump and Zelensky. Here's a recap. So watch this, guys.
I think I'm entitled. I don't give a damn what you think you are entitled to. And my existence, while grotesque and incomprehensible to you, saves lives. I have neither time nor the inclination to explain myself to a man who rises and sleeps under the blanket of the very freedom that I provide, and then questions the manner in which I provide it. I would rather you just said thank you and went on your way. I think I'm entitled. I don't give a damn what you think you are.
Can't help it. I just love this thing. But it's nice to see a president that actually stood up for our country and said what we wanted him to say all this time. And here is a woman, I want to share this woman who said the same thing. She's looking at Donald Trump differently than she's ever looked at him before. So hold on, watch this. You guys seen this?
Holy
listen.
light socket.
Please tell me you saw the interaction between Trump, JD, and Zelensky. I have never, ever been attracted to Trump. Not even like his personality. There was never a moment where I was like, oh my God, that changed today. Yell at me, Donnie. My God, that's fucking weird. But go watch it. You know, we've seen him be aggressive with the media and other people, but never like another president, especially one who's been abusing the fuck out of us for billions of dollars and a bunch of years.
I know a lady who's going to get some new D-cells tonight.
I know, but this is just great. I just love this girl. And I'm like, I'm
Trump's making lesbians straight again. All right, let's go, brothers.
I just thought it was so adorable because she had the balls.
Now,
to
Trump,
make a video
start with
and
all the
post
hot
it
Latinas.
online with her
Big
own
booty Latinas. Big booty
point
lesbian
of view.
Latinas. Make it
Fine.
nice.
That's the attitude he had. That's the attitude I love. Why the fuck am I attracted to a 78-year-old man right now? Is sick. I'm here for it though. Zelensky definitely had a boner. It was probably internal, but go watch it. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. We are so fucking back.
Oh my God.
Please tell
You're
me.
so
You wanna know
fucking
what
back. So
You want to know what
love
I
that.
find? I mean, she's absolutely right that this dude's been abusing us for years, because ever since the first time he was at the White House, he's like, we are going to need billions monthly. And I'm like, oh, okay, so you're not going to get a cent from us. Got it. That is what I would have said in 2021. And I would earn, if he would have double taked, I would have said, you don't get to extort us.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to help you, sure, with an aid package.
Right.
But Europe, you're going to step your shit up. Because here's the thing. It's not our land that is in danger from Russia. Step up your fucking defenses and get your asses over there. Because we are not sacrificing our soldiers to fight this war. It's not our fucking war. By the way, Ukraine isn't a member of NATO. So yeah, here's another argument against Ukraine becoming a member of NATO. The motherfucker is a dictator, for one. Two, he extorted countries for vanity projects.
Oh my God.
For photo shoots and for fucking concerts. I remember those, folks. And why the fuck would I want to support a country that literally showed their military beating on children for telling jokes about sympathizing with Russia? Yeah, I'm sorry. I ain't into that. I'm not, or if I see a military person, especially one of the U.S. military, beating on a child of our U.S. country for telling a joke, not only would I go after that fucking military person, but I'd also make sure that his fucking superiors find out about his abuse of a child.
Yeah. Yep. I was shocked, but I was proud. I was so proud to have a president that's willing to tell him to fuck off and die, basically. To get fucking out of here. And after he left, because he was pissed off because he didn't get what he wanted, he called and said, I changed my mind. I want to come back and sign this stuff. And our president said, no.
Nope. You fucked up. You done fucked up, AA Ron.
I was so happy. I mean, I haven't smiled this much in 4 years over the last thing. I mean, I was so It was so depressing. It was so hard to deal with some of this stuff. And I'm not saying they're going to not make any mistakes, because people are already bitching about the whole Pam Bondi thing. But
this is a president we can look at with pride, or look
Mhm.
upon with pride. This is one who we know just stood up for the American people and said, you know what, if you're not going to show respect, get the hell out of my house and get the fuck out of my country.
Yeah.
No, instead he runs the fucking Fox News, I believe it was, or News Nation. And they even asked him, it's like, do you owe President Trump an apology? Hell,
Yep.
fucking yes, he does.
I thought it was great. So I'm proud of him. I feel like it's made a big difference. But this is the next one I wanted to share. So let's watch this right here. Let me make it bigger and turn it up. There we go.
McCallum is back with us, and also Shannon Bream joining our coverage, Fox News Sunday anchor. And Shannon, you were in an interesting situation where you happened to be at the White House when all this was going down. What were you able to see?
Yeah, so I was over there for a meeting with some of my team from Fox News Sunday on something completely unrelated to President Zelensky being there today. We came out of that meeting, and I got to tell you, the SUV that was there by the West Wing to take President Zelensky was pulled up at that point. Now, we had not heard what had happened in the Oval, but you're looking around and there's a ton of press there. There are foreign delegations there, and there's a little bit of a kind of a shell-shocked look. And as we're making our way to get ready to exit the White House campus, we hear somebody say, I think they're canceling the press conference. And I thought, oh no, this did not go well. I don't know what just happened in there, but this obviously did not go down well. And there was all kinds of scattering and chattering and kind of a little bit of a feeling of, wow, this did not go as expected. So we hadn't planned to be there for part of this, but it was clear in the aftermath that people immediately knew this was kind of a make or break moment that had not gone well for President Zelensky. You see him there in our video showing that's where the SUV was pulled up and waiting for him. So at that point, the play out of what we've all now gotten to watch hadn't happened yet. But what had happened in the Oval Office had certainly trickled through to everybody out there while we had been in our meeting.
So, Shannon, I want to cue up this moment here. Vance calls Zelensky disrespectful. This is when the two of them were going at it. Watch here.
He broken this ceasefire. He killed our people, and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the president for trying to bring it into this conflict.
So what I think is really important to understand, Martha, and what is relevant is the context by which those comments were given. These three men had been talking for at least 30 minutes prior to that moment. And it was Vance and Trump's judgment that Zelensky did not come into that meeting with the proper posture.
Agreed. It takes a while to boil to the point of what we saw. And from what we're hearing from the White House, they, as you say, Bill, did not like his attitude, essentially, his body language, eye rolling. He was clearly very frustrated. And I think that perhaps he was not in the right frame of mind to do a peace deal that begins with an economic arrangement. Remember, this mineral deal, this is just step one. I mean, as President Trump has said several times over the past few days, there are a lot of steps. You know, every time someone brought up peacekeepers, he would say, you know what? That's a nice thing to talk about, but we are nowhere near that yet. And we know how much further away Russia is on all of this. As I mentioned before, they want a new election. They want Zelensky gone. They want a Ukraine military that is shrunk and not allowed to get any bigger. They do not want any European peacekeepers in the country. So these two sides are extremely far apart. But this mineral deal was supposed to be the step that was going to get them closer. We heard the tough language of President Trump a few days ago, calling Zelensky a dictator when he refused to sign this mineral deal. So this deal is what President Trump has seen as the necessary step to get to the next few steps, of which there are many.
I want to pause it for a second. Okay. How many times in any of your lifetimes have we had a president that expected to get something in return for us funding a war for another person to protect themselves or whatever, or another country, and send them weapons and tanks and, you know, bombs, planes, whatever it is we've been sending? How many times in your lifetime have you seen one of our presidents ask for money in return or something of value to pay back the American taxpayers that are funding a war that has nothing to do with us, really? I want to ask any of you if you know.
I mean, Janet, let's just look at the problem here. Is that there's a lot of Ukrainian babes that are just wanting to come over to America and marry American men, and if we will just give Zelensky billions and billions of dollars, that'll help pave the way for these drug cartels to get a hold of these women that are going to be betrothed to some loser in a basement somewhere in Kansas that wants a Ukrainian hot babe.
Mm-hmm.
And then she'll take all of his money and go back to Ukraine.
But I don't know of any presidents, do you guys, that have
No.
ever asked for anything back? Just like when Trump's first term, remember, he pulled us out of the climate accord and a few other things, and it was a waste of our time, because if we're the only ones, the only country playing the bulk of everything, how are we helping ourselves? What are we getting out of it? They hate us. They send their people here and they say death to America, blah, blah, blah. And we don't do anything. And we just keep sending them money. I mean, look at the trillions and billions of dollars we're going to end up finding out that our government has been taken from us, our veterans, all of us workers that's been sweating over our land to feed our people, you know, to build things for our people in our country. And they're taking your money and they're sending it to other countries under the guise of us being charity or whatever it is, but lying to us. The ones they're getting the money from, because if they would have asked us for this money, we would have said, hell no, put that money in our streets, in our schools, in our cities, in our towns, and back to our veterans and the homeless.
Janet, we're not lying to you, honey. We're just kind of like trying to ease this one in a little bit, trying to fit a ham candle into like a 1-inch opening, and it's really tight. It's not going to fit well. We got to ask the taxpayer to spread it a little easier for us, because this is something that everybody's got to help share the burden. A free Ukraine means a free society everywhere. That's the goal.
I am proud to have a president that is finally putting us, the taxpayers, the ones who've been paying the bill for our whole lives since the day we were old enough to get a job. We have been paying for them to waste our money. Okay. And when we have homeless people, we have people in all kinds of horrible positions simply because there's no money, because they've wasted it. And we're trying to fight. And we got a president in there and a vice president. I mean, that was presidential, the way our VP handled this situation.
Obviously, you didn't understand. We had problems with getting everything set aside for our daughter. And so we had to ask people to help out in Haiti, and also for our daughter's wedding. And so it worked out pretty well for everybody. I mean, Chelsea's wedding was beautiful, and Haiti's still there. It looks like a shithole, but it's still there. I mean, come on, we did good.
But yeah, I'm proud. Right today, I'm very proud. I'm so proud that he won. I'm so proud.
And they tripped up on the first step today in a major, major way. And I would imagine that they're trying to patch this thing back together in at least for this, just for the mineral deal, right? 50-50, let's do some mining. Let's start some economic intervention here and see where we can go from there.
Yeah, and Shannon, while there's the news conference is canceled, as far as we know, Brett says that the interview that he has with President Zelensky tonight is still on for 6 o'clock Eastern time. So there could be some sort of, messaging, obviously, to the White House through that interview. We'll be listening for that. But here was more from that exchange inside the Oval. This is President Trump telling Zelensky, you don't have the cards right now. Listen.
You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having
I'm not
cards.
playing cards.
Right now, you don't.
I'm
You're playing
serious,
cards.
Mr. President.
You're
I'm
playing
very
cards.
serious.
You're
I'm
gambling
the
with the
president
lives
in
of
war.
millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country. That's
with
back
all
to you
respect to you.
far more than a lot of people said they should have.
I mean, Shannon, you can't say enough, how meaningful this is and remarkable this is for the American public to have witnessed these exchanges.
And I'm not sure that that's in everyone's best interest. I mean, we've all talked about it. Martha's talked about, President Xi is watching this. President Putin is watching this. We know all of Europe is watching this. Now, we know that this is how these guys talk to each other behind closed doors. That's what they do. It gets rough and tumble. I've never seen anything like this from the Oval Office. I'm not sure any of us ever have seen anything close to this. It is the way that they talk to each other behind closed doors. But remember, there's been growing frustration with the Trump administration, ongoing with President Zelensky. That's not a secret. But there's been reporting here this week in Washington about how they actually feel about this. One person being quoted, who's part of the negotiation, saying that essentially they've created a monster, meaning the way that the Biden administration dealt with him, he felt like there would be open-ended, unlimited support in many ways from the U.S. And so now he's hitting a brick wall where there is going to be a different level of accountability and a different sheriff in town running the show. But there's very much a feeling from this administration that the way that President Zelensky was handled during the Biden administration has created new problems for them as they try to wrap this thing up.
Shannon, thanks so much. If you get more, come on back, okay? Otherwise, we'll see you on Fox News Sunday.
Thanks, Shannon.
Martha, thank you so much for your contribution.
Awesomeness. They did a great job explaining and basically getting us to understand what happened, especially if we missed the interview. But yeah, I've never seen anything like it in the open. We always get little tidbits of this and that afterward, but that right there was freaking awesome to see. Transparency, to actually see what kind of crap that our president, our vice president, and other officials have to deal with when we're trying to defend our country and get something out of the money that they expect to get. Honestly, I think they should give us 50% of all the mining now just to pay us back for all the money we wasted over there all this time. I think I wish there was a way that we could make them give it to us anyways, without being, like trying to take over their country or anything. But the thing is, I'm proud of President Trump and the way that our VP handled it too. Very presidential. And man, if he keeps doing that kind of stuff, I'm going to vote for him when he runs in the next election for the president. Because I was proud of him.
Everybody does ask about, will you vote for Vance in 2028? And it's like, I have to see how he's doing as a vice president first. And after that one bit there, it's like, he's just put a few points on the board that will get me to vote for him.
Mm-hmm. It's exactly how I feel about it. But I thought it was really, really good. And I can't wait. I mean, every single time Trump does something like this, it just puts another nail in the coffin for all the others that hate him, to me, because he is proving all of us right. At least that's how I feel about it. But this next thing I saw was another shocker. I mean, this actually shocked me from this person, because I have never seen this man act like this. Now, I don't know, you guys might have, but you can tell me if there is another video out there. I'd like to see it, because the big balls is spreading. That's all I can say. Did you guys see this? Senator Lindsey Graham and his reaction to what happened in there?
Yeah,
so if you hadn't seen it, it's great.
It's such bullshit.
I know, but other countries are seeing this, and that's what we need. This is the kind of conversations other countries need to see us having.
All right. So, what I think, complete, utter disaster. I've been to Ukraine times since the war. I understand the consequences of Putin's actions against Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate what the Ukrainian people have done. They fought like tigers. At the end of the day, I was hoping that this minerals deal, which would be transformative in the relationship, would go over well. I talked to Zelensky this morning. Don't take the bait. President Trump was in a very good mood last night. Somebody asked me, am I embarrassed about Trump? I have never been more proud of the president. I was very proud of J.D. Vance standing up for our country. We want to
He is such a fucking suck up.
office was disrespectful.
Yes, he is.
Ever do business with
This
Zelensky
dude
again. I think most
when
of
Zelensky freaking called for aid, this dude fucking pissed himself because he decided to throw the money at Ukraine instead of saying no. This dude is a fucking suck up.
Okay, well, but the thing is that people are seeing him suck up, right? After seeing all the other,
they're saying, "Oh, Lindsey Graham is taking a stand. Lindsey Graham is so cool." No, their memories are so fucking short that they're most people are thinking that way.
No, I was proud to see it.
So many, so
The
many
reason
are. I'm sorry, Janet. But
It's
so
no,
many
it's all
are.
right. What I'm
short
trying to
memory.
say is, I'm proud to see it because when you have just like I said, I didn't vote for Biden, and I did not vote for Clinton, and I did not vote for Obama, but I never would go up in public, especially when another country could hear me, and badmouth them. I said I don't agree with him, but he's my president. That's the kind of stuff that I say. This guy and others like him, just like we've been seeing in the Senate, right, with them talking and interviewing these people that have been running for the different, parts of the government that we're trying to put in. To me, knowing other countries are watching these people lie day after day after day, saying lies that they know are lies, and nothing's happening. It's hard to deal with that. But to see someone come out, which I thought he was going to come out here and say, they need us. We need to support Zelensky.
We need to support our friends. We need to support our friends in Ukraine.
I was shocked. And I was like, yeah, he's a suck up, but he's good at sucking up. And I'm hoping that
I've been a senator for over 30 years, Janet. Don't you think I know how this atomic two-step goes?
I know that's what I was going to say. He putting his hat on and he's going to do a sidestep. You know what I mean? From that movie
I've been here before. I know this job. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, he does. He knows what he's doing. But this is actually pretty good what he's saying. And to see him eat crow, I'm telling you, people like me, Orange Hat,
I've always stood behind Trump.
I loved it. I loved watching him eat crow. His whole plate. He ate the whole thing and he even licked the plate when he was done. That's what's so good about it. Well, let's go.
Want to go in business with the way he handled the meeting, the way he confronted the president was just over the top.
I was surprised. I had to pop a blue pill so I could enjoy an election. I love President Trump.
Do a deal with
My name is Lindsey Graham.
After what I saw, I don't know.
What do you need to do, sir? Senator Graham.
Hey, Janet, pause it real quick.
He was shocked. He was.
See, y'all put your mouse all over the dudes. Like you got Lindsey in front, and then the other dude, that guy, then the guy to the left, and another guy to the left. What's the common denominator here? What do they all do? What are they all wearing?
Beta males.
They all have the blue and the yellow colors. Bullshit.
But they also are wearing a fucking suit. Fuck! For the billions of dollars Zelensky's got, he's never been to a Goodwill and got a goddamn suit.
Yeah. There is a video out there. If Orange Hat, if you can get it or find it, it would be great. There was a video, and I was going to use it tonight because of what's going on, but I couldn't find it again. It was when Zelensky showed up at the White House and he's first getting out of the limousine, and Trump says, "Look, he's all dressed up." I just thought it was hilarious because he got a good dig in at the very beginning because he's wearing the exact same shit he wears no matter where he goes.
Every
it's like
fucking time he goes out.
Don't you have a suit? He said, "Don't you have a suit?" He asked him.
he was. It was just funny
I will
because
wear a costume when the war's over. It's like, dude, you're gonna fucking wear a suit when you come to the goddamn White House.
well,
I'm
it was
not
funny.
guys. To give you an idea, I wear denim when I go out. Unless I'm doing work at the house, then I'll fucking go out in sweatpants. I don't give a fuck. But if I'm going to a formal event, you're damn right I'm gonna wear what's needed for the formal event. When you're going to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, it's required for you to dress in your best dress, in your best attire, because you are showing that you have respect for the president's home. So yeah, Zelensky going in there in his warrior attire. Dude, you're not at war with us. You fucking dress to the nines or you get the fuck out.
Well, has Fetterman ever been to the White House? I've never seen him
No,
wearing
he
a
has not. And he won't be because he keeps on dressing in his fucking shorts and hoodie.
Yeah, a hoodie, and it's why? Has anybody ever asked him, why don't you ever wear a suit?
That man is a fucking giant, by the way. Like me. Well, I'm not a 6'8" giant, but yeah.
Yeah.
Not to mention putting on all that many clothes. I mean, as much as I think Fetterman is actually getting a little bit more respect due to his moderation or the fact that he's a little bit more moderate than he used to be, still, he should start respecting the decorum.
Someone says Fetterman did wear a suit once. To his wedding?
He's starting to wear suits at or when he's in the what's it called? Capitol.
So I don't know. I guess wearing a hoodie and jogging pants is better than him wearing a skirt. I don't know. I honestly don't know. But it's terrible. But let me finish this real quick.
Very upbeat. I told Zelensky, we'll talk about security guarantees. We'll talk about ceasefires and how the war ends. This is a process. You have a new relationship with America, a $500 billion, $500 billion deal that President Trump is proud of, that gives us an interest worth defending. Let's talk about the positive. But he was terrible at Munich, Zelensky, and I think he has made it almost impossible to sell to the American people that he's a good investment, that he is a good business.
Last question. Senator Graham. Senator, a number of European... Hey, one at a time. One at a time.
It's the only time Senator Graham feels alive.
Do you think President Zelensky needs to resign to resume these peace talks?
He either needs to resign and send somebody over that we can do business with, or he needs to change.
Thank you.
You want to know a question I would have asked? Given how much ass you've kissed to Zelensky and Ukraine, how chap are your lips? That's what I would
kids
fucking
fighting
ask
in
him.
his throat right now.
Yeah, someone should have handed him a little thing of chapstick and said, "Here you go for the ass kissing that you
For
just
all the
did."
ass kissing you've done with all the ass kissing you just
my
did to the
God.
U.S. after all the ass kissing you did to the Ukraine over the last 4 fucking years, dude. I'm sorry. We've seen all that you did over the last 4 years. Ukraine is love. Ukraine is life. And it's like, I'm sorry, dude.
You talk out of both sides of your mouth. It's the Potomac two-step. It's what you do all the time. It's how I make my money.
Good for you. That's not how I make my money. I make my money on being blunt, although I do not make money on YouTube. But I make, or when it comes to me,
nobody makes money on YouTube. Talk to me when you get
No, some people do.
I'm fully eligible to. I'm fully eligible to. I just choose not to.
Okay, well, here's
Fully able to,
another.
I just choose not to.
Here's another point of view from watching the whole fiasco at the White House that I haven't heard from him in a while. I haven't heard from Crowder, in a while, and I saw this come across my timeline. I was like, I'm going to listen to him, see what he has to say. So here we go. This is his his take is on what happened. Make sure it's turned up. Here we go.
Just watched the exchange with Zelensky and President Trump. Vance, I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. Have you? No.
Not in public.
No, not in public. Look, here's the thing. Okay, and people want to act like you're either Ukraine or you're Russia, you're Putin. I can't stand Putin. Do I think he's former KGB? Yeah. Do I think he's a totalitarian? Yeah. Do I think he's interested in freedom? Absolutely not. Don't like the way that he went into Ukraine. I think he'll take anything he can get. All right. But Zelensky is more indicative of the pervasive problem that we're dealing with, whether it's NATO, whether it's the UN, whether it's the rest of Europe, whether it's Canada. This idea that it's a never-ending supply of support from the United States while you bitch about it. It has to start with some semblance of truth, okay? Without the United States, guess what? You're Russia, Ukraine. That was the law of the land. That's what happened. Stronger nations conquered weaker nations. All of these modern comforts that people take for granted, they're entirely supported by the United States and our military. Not a nation in Europe, certainly not Ukraine, certainly not Canada. And that is the mindset that emboldens people like Putin, because they know at a certain point that well runs dry. Does that make sense? Does that make someone pro-Russia to acknowledge there's no winning here, and there's certainly no winning without the United States? And if you accept those truths, probably not a good idea to walk into the Oval Office and be a dick. Here's how you know he's not being honest. First off, everything is a photo. He rubs me the wrong way, okay? Can't stand Putin. Got it? Zelensky rubs me the wrong way. Why? Because he's walking around in the same outfit like he's cartoon Steve Jobs, and he's working for a book deal after this. None of it seems genuine. And he sits and he says, we have been strong since day one, and we have been alone. They haven't been strong since day one. They've been getting, this has been a shellacking, and everyone has been with them since day one. None of those statements are honest. How many Ukraine flags on X, on Instagram? How many hundreds of billions of dollars, largely from the United States and other nations, for you to say, oh, maybe you haven't been alone? Please, thank you. These are the words that people might like to hear when you come to our motherfucking Oval Office.
I loved it. That was good. And people need to hear this shit. People need to realize that we're sick of it. You know, other people need to hear us saying we're proud of what Trump did. You know what I mean? Because I am.
Yeah. I walked down my timeline on Twitter, and I see about 20 or 30 people that they're breaking through the algorithm, getting a little bit of traction, saying I'm completely with Trump. And as much as I don't have a problem with Ukraine, I have a problem with Zelensky. Mm-hmm. And that's, you can be against Zelensky and not be pro-Putin. You know, I mean, I think that's something that we're not hearing a lot of, but we could use that delineation a bit. You know, you can be anti-Zelensky and not be for Russia in their little war effort, their little conflict. And I think that would be. Go ahead.
Earlier, I had a little debate with fucking Dangerville, Alistair from Dangerville on Twitter. I gave my thoughts on the whole thing. It's like, dude, first off, he fucking disrespected the Oval Office. Secondly, I'm not going to support somebody who is trying to defend his country yet does a fucking full incursion into Russian territory back in August. So yeah, I'm sorry. This man extorted countries for his gain, and yet he can't even hold on to his fucking the money that was given to him, because apparently he lost over $100 billion that was sent to him. And he's like, oh, I know you're not blaming Ukraine for this. It's like, no, I don't like Putin. I don't like fucking Zelensky. But I do acknowledge that Russia did start this. There's no doubt that Russia started this, folks. We can all acknowledge that. We can all agree upon that. But the point is, Zelensky, if you are defending your country, you don't cross borders in your skirmishes. You push them back and out. You do not go further into theirs. That's when you go too far. That is when you are an aggressor. You don't fucking do that if you are trying to defend your country.
Didn't they sink a fucking Russian carrier? Didn't they sink some big
I believe
Russian
so.
ship?
I can't remember though.
What I
But-
saw in Zelensky's appearance in the White House, to me, as a mother, as an American, okay, American woman that's had a job and seen her dad and other people fight for this country and expect something when they get out, like healthcare and help, when they need glasses or they need to go to the doctor or need a prescription. And that's what they earned by giving a part of their life to our government and to protect the rest of us that didn't join the military. And to know that this much money went to this person and his country, supposedly to be spent to defend themselves, not on yachts and parties and homes and jewelry and stuff like that. He sure seemed awful
smug,
unthankful. He seemed like, where is my stuff? I want my money. That's what he seemed like to me. A spoiled,
Well, that's because
rotten brat.
Yeah.
That's what I saw.
he was getting a blank check for the last 4 fucking
I know.
years.
And
And
he
it's
was
like,
sharing
guess
it with
what?
whoever else he was supposed to share it with. But that's what I saw, and it was nice to see him.
Thank you, Medi.
Down a
Thank
few
you, Logic's Finest. I knew they sank something. They sank the Kuznetsov.
Oh, did I click on the
Yeah.
wrong one? I'm sorry.
Kuznetsov or Kuznetsov.
Yeah, they kind of that's kind of a big deal. You drop one of those in the harbor, you're kind of a big motherfucker. But then, like, his entire follow up on that has been nothing but give me money, 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 give me money. That's all he does.
I mean,
Why do you say that word?
all of these
I mean,
people
it sounds like
think
cousin
we are
nuts.
an open wallet, and why wouldn't these people think that? Because behind our backs, all of us that didn't know about USAID and what they were doing with the money, because we kept thinking, God, it seems like we raise more money, we raise more money, we give them more money, we give them more money, we're giving them more money. We need more money for this city or this project. If we just had more money, we could fix this problem. That's what we've heard our whole lives.
They're just the filter. They're just the filter with all the money.
We were giving them the
US
money and they were
embezzles money.
giving to others and not benefiting our country with the money that we worked our asses off for. So it's nice to be first for a change. It's nice for our president to put us, the taxpayers, first, and to knock him down a few notches. And I'm thankful that we saw it, that this wasn't done behind closed doors. I'm proud to have seen it. And I think we should see more of it. Our people deserve to see what actually goes on in these deals.
Who was the guy in the back standing behind Vance that he says in the middle of it all is like, why do you always come wearing this? Why don't you wear a suit? Don't you have a suit?
I know, I love that.
That was my favorite part of this entire exchange was when one of the fucking Statler and Waldorf guys in the background fucking stood up to Zelensky and was like, hey, got a question. You always come here dressed like Adam Sandler. Stop it.
It's sad. It's really sad that they don't have respect for the White House at all.
No.
I mean, look what we've had. Okay, think about it. Look what we've had going in and out of the White House. Men wearing women's clothes. Okay, naked people on Easter Sunday on the White House grounds.
But what about the time there was a butt sex in the Senate? Janice? Come on.
That going on in the Senate, and White House being used for people snorting coke. You're just leaving their coke laying around.
That was not Hunter's coke. If it was Hunter's coke, it would have been in Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
That was somebody else's coke. He gave that away.
So basically, how it ended was the president got a phone call, supposedly, after, a sex club. It's not. But he got a phone call from Zelensky after he left. He stormed out because he was pissed off that he didn't get the money he wanted from us, because we have a president with some balls that said no to him, and he got pissed. And when he called and said, I changed my mind, I'm ready to sign the contract, and Trump said no. I love it. I absolutely love this. So I'm glad we got a president with some balls, and he's fighting for us, and he's trying to get the best deal. So I'm really happy. I'm beside myself. I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to sleep tonight. I'm so pumped up over this whole thing because it's awesomeness. Okay.
Somebody in Fort Smith is going to get a booty call at 2 a.m.
Yeah, I wish. No, not gonna happen. But let's see. This next article I thought was pretty good. I think this is it. Yeah. Now this isn't about Zelensky. It's about another topic that I thought was important that we should talk about. Have you guys seen this? Here. Why would Donald Trump and Elon Musk and Doge want to know if federal workers are working? Okay, this is some stuff that's been uncovered after they sent out the stuff asking people to show what they've done, 4 bullet points or whatever, right? So this lady is going to tell us about, this is from the Department of Veterans Affairs building portfolio. She's going to tell us about it. So let's listen to this. Very interesting. And you know how I am with veterans. I think our veterans should get money before a lot of these wasteful spending that we're seeing to other countries. If we don't have the money to take care of our veterans, don't be sending money to another country where we don't have Americans, that are getting the money. Here we go.
Why would President Trump want to know if you're working? I want to share some statistics and from a friend of mine who works at the Department of Veterans Affairs, and I want to be very sensitive because he shared some information that it was internal use only. And this is from the Department of Veterans Affairs building portfolio. All right, so 810 Vermont Avenue is a GSA-owned building, and a GSA-owned building means that it's a General Services Administration, and the Department of Veterans Affairs rent that each month. So 810 Vermont Avenue is a 618,000 square foot building. It has 2,483 seats, meaning that's how many staff they can fit. And the monthly rent is $27.2 million, and that's a month. Their average logins from those staff, and they're pretty packed, my friend says, is 387 people average logging in every month. And that building is sitting at a 16% occupancy rate. So we're paying $27.2 million a month for that building with 16% occupancy rate. Now there's 7 buildings that I'm going to share with you. 811 Vermont Avenue, another GSA-owned building, 266,000 square feet, 1,294 seats, $13 million a month rent, 124 average logins, a 10% occupancy rate. 18,000 G Street, it's a leased building, 207,000 square feet, 1,243 seats, $11.3 million a month rent, and the average logins of those staff is 146 per month, and an 11% occupancy rate. 1100 First Street, another leased building, 48,000 square feet, 190 seats, $2.4 million a month rent, 55 average logins, and that building has a 20% occupancy rate. 1575 I Street is a leased building. Now this building is in the process of lease termination. So that's nice. So the 37,000 square feet, 156 seats, $1.7 million a month rent, but that building is being terminated. 425 I Street is a leased building, 175,000 square feet, 582 seats, $12.7 million a month rent. 60 average logins, and 10% occupancy rate. 801 I Street is a leased building, 18,000 square feet, 86 seats, $1.1 million a month rent, and 8 average logins, and it's sitting at a 9% occupancy rate. So, yeah, I think that tells a story. I mean, tell me it doesn't tell a story. My friend says that they're pretty heavily staffed, and I know every time there's a job opening, he shares it, and it gets staffed pretty quickly. The government loves to staff at the max capacity if they can, and yeah. So share your thoughts if you want, or not. I don't care. But that's the Department of Veterans Affairs building portfolio.
Amazing. And you could hear what she was saying, that we're paying $2.something million a month for a building that has 16% of the people that are supposed to work there even showing up for work. Okay. So then you have all these people, like I showed last week. Remember the protest of the people in the street in New York, mad because they want to get rid of Doge, and they didn't even know what they're protesting. And when he said that the different things he brought up, they were like, huh? Because they don't know shit. And that's the sad truth, is that we are wasting all this money that should be going to actually help our veterans, yet why are we paying $2 million a month for a building? See what I mean? It's ridiculous. We need to get rid of these big buildings and go to the towns, each of the little towns, and put a small office and get a couple people that actually live and work with these people, and then give them the money to help these veterans in the towns. I mean, it's sad because I know in the state of Arkansas, you have to drive sometimes 2 hours to get to somewhere to go to see a doctor that accepts veterans, a VA hospital or VA clinic. Instead, remember when Trump was president the first time, he said, why shouldn't our vets get to go to any doctor they want? Like if you live in a small town and you have a doctor in your town, why shouldn't you be able to see that doctor and let our government pay that doctor for you to see that doctor because you're a veteran, right? Such bullshit and waste when we can fix it in our own states by just letting our veterans see the doctors near them, instead of having to drive all the way to the state capitol or whatever every time they got to go to the eye doctor or need care. Because then if they can't drive themselves, someone else has to take off from work and take this person, sit there all day, then get them their prescriptions or whatever, and then take them back home. It's just, it's ridiculously, it's stupid. And there's simple things that we can do to make it cheaper and save taxpayers money. And if you already have the budget set up, to take the money that you save and put it back in to do different things for the veterans. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just think it's sad and pathetic to see how bad off our country really is because people have become so lazy. I used to say over and over again, the reason why the cheating started so bad and it became so easy to cheat when it came to voting is because people wouldn't go take off or whatever, or the women that weren't working didn't sign up to work the polls. So you go in, it looks like geriatric center because there's no young people to work the polls, right? So there's not enough people. And what do they say? Well, if we get machines, we don't have to have people. See?
Mm-hmm.
That's how we got the machines, people, because people wouldn't get off their ass and go and work the polls. Okay. If you work the polls, you don't need machines because you have actual people to count and work. So there's so many things we can do, but the only way we can do this is by you starting in your communities and bring it up at city council meetings or whatever. Hey, we want to try to do something. How much do our veterans have to pay to rent this building? I mean, that kind of stuff. Try to find out better ways to
get involved in your local neighborhood. I should go back and introduce Ebola to Laredo. Never mind, just kidding.
No.
In Minecraft, playing the thing. Bruce, where's Bruce?
What did you guys think about that? Did you guys realize that we were spending that much money?
I knew I knew it was corrupt. I didn't know how corrupt it was.
Oh, it's bad.
It's worse than I thought.
Yeah. Doesn't shock me.
I was shocked. I really was. $2 million a month. I still can't get over it. Any building where you're paying $2 million a month and there's 16% of the workers that are supposed to be there, that's all that's clocking in after a month. And
Janet,
we
you're just
spent
being
$2 million.
hateful. You're just being hateful, Janet. You're not.
I
letting
know.
it-
I'm such a
Janet.
bitch. I can't help it. It just pisses me.
You
me
want to
off.
know why it doesn't shock me?
Yeah.
Who
I'd
did
like
we
to-
have? Who was our last president?
Well,
Who was our last
Biden.
president?
Oh, Biden.
Is it any shock that that lazy diaper stain said that people could just stay at home and work from home?
And
That's
he
kinda
told
funny.
our veterans to get on welfare if they couldn't afford to buy food.
Oh, Janet, there's an entire video about veterans not being able to procure food on base. Do you know about this video yet?
No.
Oh, God. Well, basically what it means is that government gives you, Janet, $10 to spend, but all $10 of that has to go to an Army service member. The active duty guys have to have this money for DFAC, and this man named Angry Cops broke it down and bludgeoned it so bad. This is the greatest video against the fucking against why you might ever want to have a member in the service nowadays. There's $151 million stolen from DOD that was supposed to go into our current active duty people. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
Let me pull this. This is a classic video.
Okay. But yeah, I was shocked. I had to listen to it a couple times because at first I thought it was a joke. I was like, what? There's no way we pay $2 million a month.
There. Private chat. You got the YouTube link.
Okay, hold on.
For Angry Cops. He goes through it. It's kind of painstaking. It's kind of long. But if you want to milk one video, you can milk this video. It's good.
Okay, well, let me get it. I gotta get it past the ads and stuff real quick. Okay, now I'm gonna pause it. All right.
Not veterans, active duty told that. I'm sorry. Fucking the active duty guys aren't getting fed because like the Post has their fucking mess halls shutting down at weird times. They don't have things going on when they should.
So you ready?
You guys ready for this? This might be new to some of you, but it's what's going on right now for active duty guys.
Food services.
It is now advising soldiers to apply for benefits formerly known as food stamps.
United States military posts have been stealing, misappropriating, and transferring funds supposed to be to feed their troops to the sum of over $150 million from the $225 million that was collected to literally feed the troops. Anybody good at math here? Air Force, you want to chalk that up for me? Is that over half?
Do math.
It's more than half. So more than half of the money secured to feed their troops has gone to United States military posts, and nobody's been able to track it. It's just gone to whatever fund that they want. Not even spent on something related like the dining facility or food trucks. Nope, just gone. Fairy dust. Now, before I break down each post and the amount of money it, what I say, stole from its troops, first, a word from this video's sponsor. Sheath is underwear. But it's not just underwear. It's got pockets in it for
Okay,
your
skip
balls.
through the
Why are
fucking
those
sheath.
underwears
Okay,
not in
I
the
get it.
bag?
Hold on.
Because I wear them. These are worn.
Okay. How do I No.
Right there. Right there. Go, right there.
Food budget. So who's done really well? Well, only using 49% of its funds to feeding its troops is Fort Bliss, Texas, who used 11 million out of 22 million. And a close second place, spending 48% of its funds on feeding its troops, is Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Back to Bragg. Nice. 16.6 million out of its 34.6 million. Wow. Here's where it starts to get depressing. Only using 30% of the funds allocated to the post for feeding its troops is Schofield Barracks, Hawaii. How much do they get? Well, they spent 5.3 million out of its allotted 14.5. It's almost $10 million just sitting there in somebody's pocket. Next is Fort Wainwright in Alaska, spending $3 million out of the collected $9 million. 33% on the dot. I know how to math. 28% Fort Campbell, Kentucky. At 27%, that's Fort Cavazos, Texas. Used to be Fort Hood. You remember Fort Hood? I remember Fort Hood. And tied at 27% is Fort Riley, Kansas. 5.1 million it spent out of 18 million. Wow, leaving a lot on the table. Or actually, I should say, taking a lot off the table because the troops aren't getting that money for their food, are they? Fort Carson, Colorado. 5 million out of 22 million. What's that percentage? 22%? Oh, we're getting down to less than a quarter. Under a quarter. Welcome to the great state of New York with Fort Drum spending 21%, 3.9 out of its $18.2 million. Wow. Nice. Saving 15 mil instead of feeding your troops. And the worst number one offender, Fort Stewart, Georgia, only using 12% of its funds collected to feed its troops. A whopping 2.1 million out of $17 million. If you're hungry at Fort Stewart, we all know why.
That's terrible. And isn't that the same state that had Fannie Willis and what was the other woman's name? I can't remember the other woman that got like $40 billion from USAID. I wonder if they
Stacey Abrams.
Yeah, Stacey Abrams. Isn't she from Georgia?
Fort Drum, Stefanik. Where the fuck are you? Oh wait, that's right. You're UN ambassador. Shit. She actually used to be quite on top of shit that goes down in Fort Drum, but if she's letting our fucking troops starve, that's pretty fucking sad.
I have no idea what this means, but maybe he can explain it to us. Oh no, that's the wrong one. There, this one.
21% of their
Not as sexy as they claim. Imagine a fruit roll-up melted on your junk. Scratching that. Some might dig it. What's this? Why is he saying this?
Six Nations, could you elaborate in a more comprehensive matter that doesn't sound like it belongs in a fucking B-rate porn movie?
Yeah, what does this mean? I don't understand. I'm trying to read the chat as fast as I can to keep up. But, oh, someone put up here, gummy panties. Okay, I think that's why. Okay, that's what they were saying. All right, that was higher up. Sorry about that. I was
Okay,
just
fruit roll-ups
shocked.
in panty form. Okay.
I was shocked by that. But yeah, this is terrible. These numbers are awful. Well, how are we going to ever find out where this money went? Do you think Doge will find out about this?
Oh, I think that Pete Hegseth just allowed them into the Pentagon. So I'm hoping that does come to light.
Yeah, because I saw one of his not interviews, but he did like a speech to some of his people, and he said by the end of his 4 years, he wants to be able to pass an actual budget or whatever what is it called? An audit for the military, and he wants to pass one. So that's his goal. I think that's a wonderful goal since I don't think we've ever passed one before, have we?
Over the last 10 to 20 years.
Yeah, so that would be that's a good goal to set to try to pass one, and I hope he can get close or pass. That would be really good. But okay, I'm gonna go back to the video. It's sad that we are wasting that much money.
Now, these numbers come from fiscal year 2024, which starts on October 1st, 2023, and then wraps all the way around to the last day of September 2024. So these numbers are fresher than the eggs at the salad bar in the dining facility. So less than 6 months ago, we got these numbers back. And well, people are upset, especially guys who have been getting a lot of social media DMs about food shortages going on for the past several years on military posts. But where does this money come from? Does it come directly from soldiers' checks? Is it USAID? Not USAID! Let's start with the education portion of this, shall we? All this money is collected from something called BAS. Simply put, BAS is money for food, and each soldier receives BAS in one of two ways. One way is, let's say you live off post, or you qualify to receive BAS directly into your paycheck, meaning your base pay is, let's say, $10, and your BAS is $5. Your BAS will then go on top of your base pay, $15 now, we're mathing, and goes into your bank account. And then you can spend that money on groceries or however you see fit. But it's supposed to assist you in purchasing food for yourself. Now, the second way, the way we're focusing on today, you see, the second way that you receive BAS is as an allotment that doesn't even go into your paycheck, but it is notated on your pay stub, or in the military, we call it LES. Leave an earnings statement. And your post takes that from you before it even touches your bank account. An example would be your base pay is $10 again, and your BAS is $5, but you never receive that $5. It goes to the post that you're at, and they say, we've got Private Richard High here. He has BAS given to us, the post, and therefore, when he goes to a dining facility, he doesn't have to pay. We've already received his BAS money to feed him at our dining facilities on post. So I, as Private High, walking around whatever post I live on, and that post receiving the BAS for my food, well, I would just walk up to a dining facility at breakfast, lunch, or dinner, get my ID out, scan it, they would go, yup, your BAS was transferred to the post. We recognize it. You don't need to pay. Go ahead and eat, young soldier. Now, the total amount of the monies collected from BAS for those troops that rely on dining facilities on post, that money is portioned out for and given to the post, reached $225 million in 2024. But out of that $225 million, $151 million was not used. Over half of that allotment of money that was collected was not used to feed troops. Over 50%. 151 divided by 225 equals 67%. Holy shit. Oh my God. I just did the math and it's 67%. Two-thirds. Oh, fuck. That's disgusting. Now, where did that $151 million go? Nobody knows. Literally, nobody knows. Back in 2019, if I'm not mistaken, there was a question that said, hey, what's up with that money? Where'd it go? And the federal government was like, hey, yeah, that's a good idea. It's just kind of put in a large slush fund, not specifically for the Post or the U.S. Army. Nobody clarified that. And then it's just spent elsewhere. But we don't know where because that money's no longer accountable. Well, then COVID happened and nobody gave it anymore. And hey, look at where we are now. Two-thirds of food money for troops. Gone. Now, if you're all confused with the allotment of money that's supposed to go on and what BAS is and how you don't understand why I would consider this, and I do, stealing from troops. Let me make a little analogy for you. You're 10 years old and your little brother is 8. and your mom grabs $10 out of her purse and says, hey, listen, Ricky, I want you to take your brother Jeremy to McDonald's and get him some chicken nuggets. All right, $10 worth. We're spending money like it's going out of style. It's 1991. You could probably get like a 50 of them for that. I don't know. Now you go to McDonald's, and instead of getting $10 worth of chicken nuggies, you go to the dollar menu and get your brother $4 worth of chicken nuggies, and then pocket the $6. Now go home and tell your mom you didn't just steal $6 from your brother. You go ahead, you tell your mom. Tell your mother that the whole $10 you spent on little Jimmy, and that you didn't take that $6. That you didn't steal what was supposed to be given to little Jimmy. You go ahead and you tell your mom that. Then you come back here and we can continue this conversation. In 2020, Representative Tim Ryan pressed then Army Secretary Ryan McCarthy on the matter during a budget hearing, saying, the Army is either wasting half.
Sorry, I didn't hear what you said. What?
I'm fucking happy that you're so into this guy because
I love him because he loves the troops. You know, he wants what's best for what's going on in the military.
He's still doing DI shit.
He cares. He could tell he cares. He thinks it's bullshit what they're doing. And I hope now that Hegseth is in charge and he's asked Doge to come in and he's been kicking out.
And Vance.
Oh,
you
that's
have
right.
the E4 Mafia in charge. Holy shit. It's going to be glorious.
Yeah, it's gonna hopefully they're gonna make some big changes.
The food or the money is not being spent on the soldiers' food, and it's being spent on something it's not appropriated for. However, there was seemingly no follow-up to that inquiry, which came just before the COVID-19 pandemic. Hey, where's that money going to for these kids? Well, as the Secretary of the Army, I can tell you that I don't know. We should look into that. Nah, I don't think so. But taking all that money away, 2/3 of all that money away that's already been allocated for troops, it couldn't really have any bad, damaging effects. And it couldn't possibly be going on that long, even though I just said 2020. It couldn't possibly lead to troops completely giving up on the DFAC and then spending their own money because the money that they automatically gave to the post dining facility is, well, not going towards them. So now they've got to go into their own wallets and go to the poorhouse because they got to afford their own food that they already paid for from the BAS, right? They wouldn't do that. They wouldn't spend their own cash, would they, to eat consistently? Well, I'm glad you brought that up. Let's talk about Fort Carson. Does everybody remember Fort Carson? They only spent 22% of their entire collected funds on feeding their troops, which was 5 out of $22 million. Where's that $17 million? Not going to feeding their troops.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for them.
Let me take you all the way back. All the way back to Thanksgiving of 2024, 4 months ago. We're not even 3 months from this. They ran out of food for over a week during Thanksgiving.
How much longer on this?
Good job. That's right. They had such a food shortage that they served people lima beans and slices of toast for dinner. Because that's all they had left.
So it's got quite a ways. So I guess this has been enough for us.
The point is there's been some serious fuckery going on.
Yeah, definitely. A lot.
Glad you can summarize that. But yeah, this guy goes into like a 25 or 28 minute video.
Yeah.
And it's really fucking, he gets in the weeds.
But I like how he breaks it down and tells you what the initials mean. And now regular people can see that the soldier's paycheck, when it comes to him, already has the money taken out of it and put into the account, supposedly, so that when they go onto the base, to the restaurant or to the cafe, they can get something to eat. Okay. And if they're going there and they're told they have no money allotted for them, then they have to buy their own food again. So basically they're paying double for the food that they should already have. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Eat there. So yeah, I can see why. But remember, I got pissed. I said it quite a few times that it broke my heart when our president of the United States, which was Joe Biden at the time, and someone asked him, "Well, the troops don't have enough money to buy food," and he said, "Well, tell them to get on welfare." I mean, that was pathetic. These are people that they're sending to other countries to get shot at, get their legs blown off and stuff. And our president's telling them, well, too bad, get on welfare. That it just pissed me off so bad. Oh, it's disgusting. Made me want to barf. I couldn't look at him the same way. I couldn't look at him as a person like that cares about our country, because I don't. I still don't.
I never looked at him as a person.
Well, I tried to, but I couldn't after that.
No.
That broke my heart when he said that to our troops. And then it's sad that a lot of troops left. It got forced out simply because they wouldn't get the COVID shots.
But there's guys being pulled back in now because they, are being allowed to come back, and they're getting back pay for their time they were separated, forced out because they wouldn't get the shot.
Yeah. But if you think about it, okay, it's like you going to the drive-through of your favorite drive-through restaurant, whichever one it is, and you pull in, and the little thing tells you, the little sign tells you that just by pulling in, they charged you $10. Okay.
Well, let's go get $10 worth of stuff because we're gonna get
now you're supposed to go in, and now you order for your food, and they charge you another $10 for the food. So at the end, when you pay, it costs you $20 instead of the $10 that it was supposed to cost you. Basically, that's what they've done to all our troops. They put them in harm's way, but they also take double the amount of their allotted to eat. It's disgusting. These people are just repulsive and disgusting. They steal from the people they're supposed to be supporting and protecting our country. And look, but the other thing is, I played it last week on the show when I was showed the video about the us having credit cards. The credit cards for $40 billion. Did you guys see that? Remember that? The government credit cards, okay? And that we spent $40 billion last year on government credit cards, when they said there was like 3,000 employees on these cards, but yet there was 1,500 or whatever more credit cards than what was supposed to be out there. And that they're buying all this stuff, using it like a credit card just to buy whatever they need or want.
Have you ever done a study, Janet, on how much money goes in every year to buying Army and Air Force princesses new boob jobs?
Oh no, I didn't know that, but man.
Oh God. That's a you'll see that a lot on Base or on Post, where girls will have like a couple medical procedures, then all of a sudden they get told you can get a boob job. And fuck, they're swiping that money. And that's paid.
Yeah, I got something. Someone asked me to get this. I'm going to share this real quick before we go to the next little thing here. Here we go. Let me make sure it's turned up. Make it big. Okay, can you guys see it?
Oh my God. Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about
it. From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards. Right now, you don't. You're playing cards. You're playing cards. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III. You're right now not.
See, he didn't care, did he?
No, he doesn't.
He could care less because he feels he's untouchable. He doesn't even let his people watch TV if he doesn't agree with what's on television.
Janet, this is Soros's kid. Can we not?
Disgusting.
Do we have to pretend he's not Soros's kid?
I guess. I don't know. It just pisses me off. I'm always pissed off. But okay, well, I got the next thing I want to present.
Oh.
Let me open it up.
I
really
got about 10
here.
minutes left before I have to go, so let's do it.
Here we go. Have you guys seen this? It says, now that Joe Biden's comfortably retired, Primetime's been wondering if he still holds a grudge against his friends who cooed him, basically. So that's what this whole thing's about. So I want you to see this. So here we go. Let me get it.
Now that Joe Biden's comfortably retired, we wonder, does he still hold a grudge against the friends who cooed him? Thanks to Donald Trump, we now know.
I asked him, I said, so who do you blame? Because he was very angry. You know, he's a very angry guy, actually. And he said, I blame Barack. And I never think of him as Barack. You know, you always hear Obama. You say, you have to think about that for a second. And he said, and I also blame Nancy Pelosi. I said, what about the vice president? He said, no, I don't blame her, which was interesting.
Yeah.
He didn't blame her. He blamed, told me he blamed those two people.
No wonder Biden's team was terrified of letting Joe speak without a teleprompter. He's a loose cannon, misfires all the time.
The president's team was scared to death of impromptu, unscripted, unrehearsed, unpracticed, unchoreographed, anything. They couldn't compete for the attention economy. They just couldn't do it. They didn't have any idea. And they didn't have the vessel, either in Biden, by the way, who would have done anything. He loves TV. He loves doing stuff. It was the orbit that did not trust their candidate.
Biden's team thought he'd stick to his word and be a bridge between generations, but they were shocked to find out there were plans for a second term the second he took office.
When I got to the White House on day one, it became pretty clear to me. You know, I think I went in, first of all, I was just happy to be there, excited. I used to drive my boss home every night, my chief of staff, because we lived in the same building. And I remember him saying something about, oh, well, that's after the reelect. That's a second term thing. I said, wait, what? Because I think
you believe the bridge.
The hardest part of a coup isn't stabbing your president in the back. It's finding a good leader to replace the guy you just kicked out. And Democrats are still looking without any luck.
My heart breaks for Democratic voters. I used to be a Democratic voter. I'm an independent now because I'm sick of how incompetent the Democratic Party really is. And honestly, calling them incompetent really is generous. Because in reality, they're not incompetent necessarily, they're just corrupt.
The party isn't just corrupt, they're also clueless. And it's clear they haven't learned a thing since the election.
I really think the left does not understand what's happening all over the country. MAGA is on fire with a sense of retribution and a sense of the opportunity to make big change, to pressure corporations, to pressure universities, to pressure the media, to pressure Hollywood, to say, new sheriff in town, old ways don't count. We are going to change it.
And the man who was almost vice president is still shouting about fascism.
And we're seeing it in these town halls. That charismatic leader's not going to come there. You know, I see the pundits on TV. What's wrong with the Democratic Party? What's wrong is our country's being stole by fascists and Nazis, and we're trying to do all we can.
Fascists and Nazis, Tampon? Might want to walk that one back. Well, the press gave him a shot yesterday.
We have folks in Lincoln Heights, Ohio, wearing and calling themselves Nazis, walking in the streets, asking to take over that city council and the way they govern there. So they're asking me to apologize because of that?
You were talking about politicians in Washington.
No, I'm talking about the people who are openly Nazis.
Sure.
Dude, you said country.
Yeah, he did.
You said fucking country. The Ohio isn't a fucking country. Oh.
They don't know they don't know that, dude. They just think you're a bunch of hicks that eat fucking corn all the time.
They just look at us as a bunch of dumbasses. They look down their nose at us, that we, even though they've had our wallet pulled wide open, and they've just been digging our money out, throwing it around. Hey, look at us. We got all this money because it's constantly being filled by all the people working in the country. So they've never run out of money. The only way any of these people like Tim are going to see the truth is when the money is gone. When we get rid of all these open wallets where they have to account for every dollar that they ask for, that's when we're going to see that kind of shit stop. That's the only time that's going to happen. Just like I've been saying about the whole thing with the Bud Light commercials. Remember that Bud Light commercial? And everybody got pissed off and they said, F you, Bud Light. And they didn't buy it. Well, what happened? When everybody got together and said, F you, Bud Light, they stopped doing it because they couldn't afford to lose that much money. And the same thing happened when everybody had a chance to not watch NFL when they were taking the knee and, doing all the stupid shit. But guess what? Apparently most men cannot go a whole season without watching professional football. They couldn't just.
And that's pretty pathetic.
Yeah, it is pathetic, but
I mean,
that's what happened.
The Super Bowl that recently went by, everybody's like, "Oh, that was such a great Super Bowl," and it's like, "Oh, that was such a great halftime show." It's like, do you not know what they fucking did during that halftime show? They basically said America is fucking racist during that whole halftime show, and also Serena Williams, I believe it is. The one who was doing that sea dance, that sea walk, as they call it, also known as a Crip walk, for those of you who don't know. Serena and Venus Williams' older sister was murdered by a Crip. And she's on the fucking stage doing a Crip walk. Basically showing support for the Crips. Because she gangsta. Your fucking sister was murdered by those gangsters. You dumb fucking see you next Tuesday.
Okay, well, I want to show this one next since you're going to leave. So before you leave, I wanted to play this one video that's going to be talking about some of the things that you said you were interested in sharing. And I just think it's important that we hear about the whole thing that was released by Pam Bondi. And this is a part of what she feels, Miss Powell feels, our administration with Pam Bondi should really be getting into. So we'll see what you guys think about it. Make sure it's turned up. Here we go.
They specifically did not look at the BlackBerry backups, and they didn't look at a fraction of the emails on Anthony Weiner's laptop. So one of the things, if I were the president, I'd do is demand the Anthony Weiner laptop and get it to the most trusted person in the military to take apart everything on it and then start using it. There's a lot that can be prosecuted. I have no doubt on that laptop. In fact, I heard that the New York police officers who saw some of it, even though they're hardened investigators, literally had to go throw up. It's bad.
I'm assured that's it. Cash asked the same questions. Assured there's no more. I found out, this week that a source told me New York, SDNY, they're sitting on thousands of pages of documents regarding Epstein. Thousands. And of course, you've seen the very strong letter. We will get everything. We will have it in our possession. We will redact it, of course, to protect grand jury information and confidential witnesses, but the American people have a right to know. And Donald Trump is the most transparent president in our nation's history. So not only will America get the full Epstein files, they will get JFK, they will get Martin Luther King.
Okay, so I played that for you, but she's right. How long has it been since that laptop came out with Anthony Weiner? Stuff on it. And we heard a lot of bad stuff. So there's a lot of shit out there that needs to be pulled out. So I'm hoping earlier there was a couple things in the chat about that it was a nothing burger, basically, because the whole thing was pretty much redacted. So that must have been a shit, because it was like 200 and something victims.
Pages. Here's the thing. What they released is all and redacted in the release was already released unredacted years ago when Ghislaine got freaking locked up.
Yeah.
And it's like, you guys seriously, I mean, Liv's a TikTok, Liz Wheeler, who else? The motherfuckers that also did all those photo shoots with the Epstein files. Congratulations,
Oh,
you
the
dumb
Blaze?
shits.
What?
You just made us all look stupid. You made us all look like fucking idiots. Oh, they just released the Epstein files. I haven't seen one fucking celebrity name. So yeah, all that all that redacted shit that they released in the Epstein files, common fucking knowledge. Congratulations, you played yourselves. This was a bad day for the Trump administration. And I'm not afraid to admit when our administration made a mistake, folks. This was when our fucking administration fucked up. And it's the people at the FBI office in New York, count your fucking days of employment. Because honestly, when Kash Patel fucking comes in, you're done.
We need to just park a couple fucking chippies in the parking lot over there, and just take the loudest mouth at the water cooler at the FBI office, and just do a JSA in the parking lot with the others, and just fire it up, start getting them ready to be fed inside to it, kind of like
And not only that. They are trying to destroy evidence of the Epstein files. If that is happening, I want those, or I think all of the American people, I can speak for most of them at least. I think the majority of the American people will not only be calling for arrests, but fucking charges of treason.
Yeah.
Destroying that evidence is detrimental to the American people.
Because honestly, do you think that Dan Bongino and Kash Patel, if they prove that there's some guys over there or women that are destroying files that they were already asked for by the president of the United States, won't arrest these people? I think they will.
Oh, they need to be fucking federally charged if they're doing that shit. And not only that, you have fucking FBI agents that are saying, well, we're seriously thinking about possibly passing on some of this information to other countries and shit. It's like, did you just seriously fucking admit that you're willing to commit treason just because you don't like the new fucking bosses? Are you seriously that much? I'm sorry. Right then and there, I would have said, I want their fucking names. I want them in this office. And I want a lot of fucking handcuffs. Because what they just did, I'm sorry, that's intent to betray your country.
That's
freedom
a fact.
of speech doesn't apply. Freedom of speech does not apply when you are about to break the law. And they just showed every intent when they said, well, maybe we should slip some of this stuff to other countries, leak it to other countries. Motherfucker, you're under arrest, charged with treason against the United States. And the penalty for that is death. You will be publicly fucking, or I think that they should bring back fucking public executions. I'm sorry. They really do. Especially for charges of treason. But anyway, folks, I can't stay too much longer. I got to get going because I got to be up early in the morning.
Well, thank you for Janet, out with us.
Yep, thanks for having me. Ruben, good to see you. Bruce, always a pleasure, man. So,
Thanks,
yeah, folks, y'all have a good night. And I'll see you on the next one, and stay humble.
God bless you, Orange.
Have a good night. Get some sleep.